Tim Curtis from the Rummel Agency in Frankenmuth, commercial producer, craft brewery specialist, hanging out with the guys at Oracle Brewing Company in Old Town Saginaw, Michigan today.
I'm Cody Smith, owner and brewer.
Chris Young, owner, I guess general manager. Yeah, general manager.
Kind of chatting some general specifics and getting to know them a little bit more behind the scenes. You saw an opportunity here in Old Town Saginaw. How does it feel to be the first licensed brewery in the city of Saginaw since Prohibition? Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Thought for sure somebody was gonna slide in before us, but yeah, no, it's fun to get to say that, and I don't think we promote it enough. Obviously the market's saturated in this place, it's not. And it's great to be on the front edge of it, because not only are we leading in the brewing space for the city of Saginaw, and I think in general in the area, but for Old Town specifically, bringing a more unique business to the area. It's not just a food shop. It's not a fly-by-night company. Like, took substantial infrastructure to put in, and I don't think this area is used to seeing that too often. And right on our heels, it seems like there's been more and more investment following. So I can't say necessarily that we were the trendsetters for trying to reestablish Old Town, but we're definitely one of the first ones in that aspect as well.
Well, going back to the neighborhood brewery, which is kind of where the market has been trending lately, I think that does bring a lot to Old Town. And you look at something like Old Town Distillery just down the street, which opened up after you guys. I mean, it's piece by piece, the neighborhood is coming back. I am drinking an American Kolsch that Cody brewed here. Pretty darn good beer. Hopped with Mosaic hops.
Mosaic and Citra.
Right on.
A fairly low level, so it's not out in your face at all.
Very refreshing for a hot summer day, for sure.
I've got the Spelt, which is a mixed fermentation saison. Uses Spelt, which is a old world grain, gives it huge mouthfeel and body. Kind of more rustic flavor too. A little bit of acidity, just dry, a little bitter and hoppy. It's great for today.
And I am drinking the Wait What, which is one of our IPAs. It's a, what all's in here? Citra, Mosaic, Amarillo. Yeah. For hops, it's about 6.5%, and to me, this is my IPA for the summer. Like, I love the causal, and that's something I will continue to drink. This is at the level that I want right now. It comes and goes. Sometimes it's a little too much.
6.5%.
Yeah.
Get a few in you there, you'll be going pretty good.
And you're drinking the lemony twit.
Yes. That was definitely a recipe from back when we were first getting started. We made that at zesting lemons in the back and all the chamomile and coriander that went into it. I'm very happy with the way it came out on this system. It's much better than it came out on my 5-gallon system. So.
Which was one of the best beers that we'd made back then.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's your favorite beer style to drink?
Saison.
Saison?
No question. If there was one I had to drink the rest of my life, that'd probably be Saison.
My favorite to drink is one that we don't make yet. Probably English bitter. English bitter, especially on cask. I will drink that. It's definitely my favorite style, hands down.
What, Chris, do you think is the best part of working with the Rummel Agency?
You guys are responsive and open with what you can and cannot do, and what we need to look at, what we don't need to worry about. That takes a huge burden off of my concerns, especially being a first-time business owner. Am I dotting all my I's and crossing all my T's? Because, I mean, insurance for us is critical. Being in this industry puts a lot of liability on us that you don't necessarily have with other businesses. So, and also the fact that you guys continue to try and help us, try to drive us, whether that's through coming in and having a beer, you know, coming in and supporting our social media, or shouting us out. I mean, any sort of publicity for a small business like that is tremendous. It's always helpful.
This is the fermentation room. This is probably one of the most unique things about us. We use these barrels intended for the wine industry, and we have them modified to work for our purposes.
Where do you think you guys are going to be in 3, 4, 5 years in this area?
I haven't thought that far ahead in a while.
Yeah, managing your own expectations is probably one of the most difficult things to do when you're getting into, one, a business that's new to you, and two, a business that's new to the area. And so our original plan by 5 years was to be, I think, talking with a bank and being ready to expand into a production facility, whether that's close to here or somewhere more logistically sound. That was kind of the premise, and I think that's still kind of the goal. I think our method of getting there is changing pretty rapidly, but
I think over the course of the 5 years that it took us to get into the space, get the space built out, and now we've been here and seen what's going on, the market has shifted dramatically as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that continues to play out, and that'll kind of, we'll feel our way through it. I mean, ideally we'd be doing some bottling and doing some more distribution and expanding our footprint, but it's only the market wants and needs it.
From the aspect of the brand of the company, I think really where we're continuing to drive through is to try and fill that niche in Michigan craft beer for the time being, of light, refreshing, table style beers, bringing back some of the more traditional styles, but doing it in a way that does justice to it. And we still have so many people come in that don't recognize half of the beers that we have on tap because they're not widely distributed. And even some of those, like the Berliner Weiss and the Goza, they're still some of our top sellers. People love this stuff. It's inspiring to know that we can go and do weird things, and because we do it so well, that we're going to continue to be respected by not only the beer community, but by the locals as well.
Brewing wise, do you have a particular style that you enjoy brewing most?
I have to stick with Saison. I mean, between that and IPA, like, they're both fun. IPA is a very technical, upfront, process-oriented thing. Saison is a very, you set it up, make sure all the conditions are right, and you have to wait and let the yeast do their thing, and it's all about the yeast expression.
Anything with a long fermentation is definitely the more interesting to create. And obviously he does most of the brewing, but even on the weekly basis that I'm down here, every now and then it's, hey, try this now, and then we try it a week later, and we try it a week later, and it's like, hey, where's this thing going? Where's it gonna stop? But yeah, I think that for sure. But it is always fun when we have the opportunity, like we did with you guys, make that big beer, load that mash tun right up. That's always fun.
Call you guys in for help to do the next one.
I was gonna say, we might have to get that going again soon.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first craft beer you had that kind of, in a way, opened your eyes to what was really out there beyond, let's, for instance, a Miller Lite or a Bud Light? What was
I do remember in college drinking a bit of Prohibition IPA. I just remember at that point in time, it was so bitter that I couldn't taste anything else in it, and it was wasn't sure if I liked it or not. But who was it, Vinny, that coined the lupulin threshold shift? I think eventually I went through that, and then I couldn't get enough bitter stuff. So.
Well, I mean, it really started with Guinness because everything else on draft usually tasted horrible, but Guinness managed to, I think, kind of cover that up a bit more. The Boston Lager was definitely the next step from there. But I think really the eye opener was when I found Sierra Nevada. You know how it is on the advertising. It's like, oh, we can grab this 6-pack, and then on the side it's like, have you tried our other styles? I'm like, wait, what is this? And then discovered local craft beer store, and you're like, oh, well, there goes all my money. Yeah, that's really what brought it to it. And that, along with learning to brew, you hang out with home brewers for 2 seconds and you find out every good beer.
Too hard, and I thought it was the worst. I just that, 4 years later, 5 years later, having Too Hard, it was like, man, this is really good.
Yeah.
So that was definitely mine. I mean, the taste difference after developing your taste profile over that many years, it's. You guys are almost a year old, anniversary coming up end of this month. So planning a big party, TBD on the date and where it's going to be and whatnot, but I mean, should be a good time. What have you learned over the last year, and what's one piece of advice you could give to someone who is in your guys' shoes, looking to start small, nano brewery, really, and trying to make a name for themselves? What's one piece of advice you could give?
Persistence.
If you're not asking a question, you're probably making an assumption. If you're making an assumption and you're doing something along these lines, probably making a wrong assumption. If it's not a wrong assumption, it's probably not based on anything. And I've done that time and time out, even throughout this year. Instead of asking a question, I think I know what I'm doing, and then turns out I didn't.
Let's talk about this 1 year anniversary.
Planning to do some special beers, of course.
Ultimately, if people haven't seen us, we want them to see us. And if they haven't enjoyed our beer, we want them to enjoy our beer. But the focus is on the beer. It's always been on the beer and will continue to be on the beer. The event will be beer-centric in every way that we can make it.
Thanks again to Chris and Cody here at Oracle Brewing. It was a blast hanging out with you guys, having a beer, and looking forward to doing much of the same soon.
If people are interested, check out our social media, check out the Facebook. That's where everything drops first. We follow up on the website, but Facebook's where it's at. Whether he's dropping a new brew or we got an event going on down here, that's where to find it.